So it's really a pleasure to be here. I have a good Latin American name. Unfortunately, not a very close Latin American contact. My family left Spain in 1492. Not to make a fine point of it, we were thrown out, actually. On the other hand, I do have a daughter who lives in Mexico and 2 grandchildren who were born in Mexico, so I have that. Game theory assumes, here comes the bad word, that people are rational. They are self-interested. All that rationality means is people do what they think is in their best interest. They may get it wrong. Things may turn out very badly for them. That may be because they got it wrong or just because they were in a very bad situation. But it doesn't mean that when things turn out badly, therefore people behaved irrationally. It means they were constrained much of the time. So who, for example, is rational and who might not be rational? Mother Teresa, rational. In my new book, The Predictioneer's Game, I explain in great painful detail how Mother Teresa was not at all altruistic, completely self-interested, motivated by her own well-being. You know, it's not a bad thing if you have a shot at becoming a saint, because you get it, you make some sacrifices during a finite lifetime, and you get an infinity of reward. And if you don't become a saint, a Nobel Peace Prize isn't that bad either. You might notice that most nuns live out their lives in anonymity doing good deeds. But Mother Teresa branded herself, white sari, blue stripe, brown sandals. So she'd be recognized. I mean, she understood about capitalizing. I say much worse things about her. I won't say them tonight. Well, all right, one. I can't help myself. So she was, she suffered from some problems, one of which was, if we go back to the Middle Ages and to Maimonides' theory of charity, a charitable person satisfies 3 conditions. They give charity anonymously. That is, the recipient doesn't know who's giving charity. They give it anonymously in a second sense. They don't know to whom they are giving charity. And they give charity to make the person self-sufficient. I apologize, Mother Teresa, she did none of those. Okay, moving right along. Suicide bombers, rational. You think they're not rational? I mean, how could you be rational to blow yourself up? Consider that Saddam Hussein used to pay Palestinian families $10,000 if somebody martyred themselves. And eventually the people who would respond at $10,000, the nature of blowing yourself up is you run out of the supply. So Saddam Hussein raised the price to $25,000. Lots more people came. You think this is some work of the region and the times. When the Pope called for a holy crusade in the 12th century and said, you'll go to heaven if you die for the church, nobody showed up. He said, and by the way, we'll forgive your family's debt. Thousands of people showed up. People respond to incentives. So who is not rational? Well, I only know of 2 sets of people who are not rational, and I am assured by psychiatrists that these people are rational also. 2-year-olds, because 2-year-olds have very weakly formed preferences. So you say, would you like vanilla ice cream? Yes. You put a plate of vanilla ice cream in front of a 2-year-old. I want chocolate. Oh, okay. You put chocolate in front. No, I want vanilla. Hard to be rational when you have that sort of immediately changing preference. And schizophrenics, because as far as I can tell, schizophrenics can't form preferences. Okay, so game theory is about self-interested people. And because we are all self-interested, we are predictable. I mean, think about walking in on a chess game in the middle. If you know the rules of chess, it's a very nice board out there by the pools. If you know the rules of chess, you walk in the middle of a game, you can figure out what the next move ought to be if you're a reasonably good player, because the players are self-interested. They are playing to win, unless it's a father or a mother playing their little child, trying to fool them into thinking that they play better than they do. That's okay. That's got its own rational elements. So people are rationally self-interested. That makes them predictable. And what is it that drives what they do? They have values. Everybody has values, things they want. They have beliefs. Beliefs are things that they don't know, that they're uncertain about. So we have to take into account that people are uncertain. We have to think of ways to model that uncertainty. And I won't go into the math. There's some very nice ways to deal with that. And people face constraints. You can't do whatever you feel like. That's why it's a game theory problem. You have to worry about what the other people are going to do.